Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. Today I have an exciting video for you. It's a little bit of story time and a little bit of advice. Today we are going to go over my advice for how to eat in college. So a little backstory on why I'm even doing this video in the first place. This past year, I just completed my freshman year at ASU, and it was a great experience, but it did come with its fair share of challenges, one of those being my weight. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with the freshman 15, the idea that you eat so much that you gain 15 pounds. But I actually had literally the opposite. I had the freshman negative 15. I lost about 11 pounds, and I'm already a skinny dude to begin with, so losing that much weight put me at an unhealthy state. It's kind of scary. When I came home over winter break, one of the first things my mom said to me was, "Oh, Alexander, you look really skinny." And like I said, for a guy that doesn't weigh much to begin with, losing is not what I need to be doing. So reflecting on this problem, I was wondering, I'm like, how did this happen? Like, I didn't purposefully starve. I didn't not eat. I tried to eat when I was hungry and those types of things. But I've identified 3 key characteristics that I want to share with you to be cognizant of if you're moving into your freshman year of college, or even if you're going into another year of college and just want to do things the right way in terms of eating. Now, obviously, my system isn't going to perfectly match yours and your desires and your weight, and I'm not a fitness coach, I'm not a nutritionist, so I'm not here to tell you exactly what you need to do. I just want to give you some insight into a few of the things that I noticed about my experience. So, the 3 things that I'm going to talk about today are mindset, measurement, and meals. Let's go ahead and dive into the first one, mindset. Now, if you're at all like me, you are conscious of how you spend your money, and you like to save. You like to see a pretty number in the bank account, and unfortunately, that kind of got in the way of my eating. I didn't want to go spend money on food, so if I was kind of hungry, but it was super late, and it's like I'll just have some snacks, right? And 1 or 2 times, the effect isn't that huge, but over a whole semester, yeah, no wonder I lost that much weight if I was cutting out that many meals because I didn't want to spend the money. So I'm here to tell you right now, within your mindset design, you have to prioritize food over saving money. And the reason is because the food has to do with your health. The money won't matter if you're too sick to enjoy it. Now, that doesn't mean to be exorbitant in your spending and go out to eat every night. You can be smart with your money. You can go grocery shopping, and I know that, people say that, and it's like, oh, what if I don't have a kitchen? I didn't have a kitchen. I had a shared room, shared bath. I had basically nothing in terms of kitchenware or cookware or anything like that. So what I ended up doing is buying a mini fridge, and I could store things in there like jelly and bread and fruit, small things like that. And I just got a little set of reusable utensils. I would get little peanut butter cups, and I'd make PB&J sandwiches, and I bought some goldfish. Like, little things like that help out in the long run. That being said, there are situations where being frugal and grocery shopping instead of going out just doesn't apply. And those situations really come when you are hungry and there is only one option, and that is going out. If it's between going out and spending some money and not eating, spend the freaking money. You can go places that have student discounts, you can take advantage of certain deal days, or you can even just get a lot of food for a little amount of money at certain restaurants. Just whatever it takes, make sure you eat. The second point I want to talk about is measurement, and this comes in 2 ways. Kind of tying back to the first point, you should be measuring your money, because the more you understand where you're standing financially, the better you can make decisions about how you spend that money. So you won't run into a situation where you're hungry, you need to eat, you don't have any food, and you don't have any money to get any food. So stay on top of tracking your expenses and just generally knowing what your account balance is, and that way you won't get caught in a sticky situation. The second part of measurement comes in terms of measuring your calories. So for me, I had to get an idea of what I was actually eating in a day, because obviously my general feel of how much I was eating was inaccurate because I was losing weight and I didn't realize that until much later. So the second semester, I implemented MyFitnessPal. I'm sure you all have heard of that app, and I recommend it. It is amazing for just keeping track of what you're eating, to get a general idea of where you are in the day. And it's kind of surprising to see, like, I would be almost at the end of the day, it's late evening, and it's like, wow, I've only had 1,500 calories today. I need to have like a big dinner. And then that kind of gives you evidence or data for you to go to a restaurant and pick something accordingly. So I highly recommend using MyFitnessPal just to get that data and see how you're doing with how much you're eating and making sure that you're getting enough. The third point I want to address is meals. Now, like I said earlier, I did not have a kitchen in my freshman dorm room, so that made cooking virtually impossible. So as far as meals, I have a couple recommendations. I would definitely go to your local grocery store. I had a Whole Foods and a Safeway, and pick up some bread. Bread is just essential because you can do so many things with it that don't require cooking. Complementary to that bread, I would pick up things like deli meats if you have a fridge that you can store it in, or even just peanut butter. You can just store peanut butter in a random drawer if you have to. Those types of things are small and they're able to form into whatever type of meal you want them to be. They can become a snack or they can fledge into a full sandwich. Again, whatever you want it to be. To keep building this meal, I would recommend picking up something snacky that you can eat in addition to the sandwich. Something like crackers, like Triscuits or Club Crackers or Goldfish, something like that. That was a favorite of mine, so just pick up something like that. And then a third thing that I would recommend including in this little sandwich package is some fruit. Again, if you have a fridge, that makes it even more ideal because then you can get things like grapes and strawberries. That's what I did. But if you don't have a fridge, you can get things like apples and bananas. You can just store those again in something like a drawer. Another type of meal I would recommend is things like pantry goods. So I'm talking your instant mac and cheese, your instant oatmeal, things like that can really help out in a pinch. Thankfully, my dad sent me care packages every once in a while, and there was always something like that in there. Those are amazing because they're portable, they're small. I guess portability doesn't really matter, but they're easy to store and easy and quick to make. One thing I would recommend picking up if you're gonna go that route is to get an electric kettle, because often those are cooked by just pouring boiling water in there and then letting it sit. There's also the type where you put it in a microwave. So those are basically like the limits of your cooking abilities if you don't have a kitchen. It's either an electric kettle or a microwave. So I would pick up at least one of those. One final point I want to make is about how things are going to run this fall. Now, obviously a lot of universities are doing a lot of different things, but at least for my case at ASU, the dining halls are going to be takeout only. So view that as an advantage. You can just go grab food and store it in your room. You can kind of stockpile some things like I mentioned earlier, apples and bananas. You can just grab those from the dining hall whenever you go get a meal. Grab a few things that you can store in your room for when you need a snack or for when you just need that little extra boost. I'll reiterate one more time. It is not worth saving the money if the sacrifice is you not eating. It's just not worth it. You're gonna get hungry and you might even lose an unhealthy amount of weight like I did and not even realize it until it's too late. So guys, as you're heading into your next year of college or maybe even your first year of college, be very cognizant of your plan in terms of food and eating. Obviously, the circumstances in the situation are not ideal, but I hope that with the stories and the tips that I told you about today, you can feel more confident heading into the new year. Thank you for checking out my video today. I appreciate you. I would love to hear any feedback or extra tips that you have in the comments below so we can all benefit. I wish you the best of luck with your upcoming year of college, and I will see you in the next video.